we covered some earlier this year. Whenever CES
Oh
was
yeah.
around, it was an MSI peripheral device. Not really a peripheral device; it's a standalone thing, but still, got some more info, don't
Yeah,
we?
the handheld. Yeah, we absolutely do. So we've covered a couple of the handhelds. I think multiple times, all of them really. A&U is one of them, and then you had MSI. I think Lenovo made one. Switch, obviously Nintendo, and then Steam Deck being, I think, probably the biggest, most successful one since the launch of the Nintendo Switch. So the MSI Claw, in this article is from Emma Roth, who we covered multiple times from The Verge. So Emma Roth wrote a article here titled "The MSI Claw has arrived to take on the Steam Deck. The base model of the Intel Core ultra-powered gaming handheld is now available for $700." Sheesh. But at the same time,
Oh,
due to inflation, I don't think that's a lot anymore. The prices are pretty wild here, so let's get into it. Wild as I think a good thing. So the MSI Claw has officially arrived as the base model of MSI's core ultra-powered handheld gaming machine is now available on MSI's website for $700. There are two other higher spec models too, but they're listed as coming on March 12th. And here are the new models. So you essentially have a price range of $700, $750, and $800. That is USD, by the way. So the $700 one comes with the Core Ultra 5 and 512 gigabyte SSD. Then $50 more gets you the Core Ultra 7, say a little bit upgraded CPU, plus the same amount of storage, so 512 gigabytes SSD, and then $800 gives you the upgraded CPU plus a 1 terabyte SSD, which is makes sense, I think, from
yeah.
a pricing standpoint. You can also pre-order all three MSI Claw models from Newegg with availability starting March 15th. Pre-orders on Newegg come with a couple of freebies, including Skull and Bones Standard Edition game code and Xbox Game Pass free for 1 month, which I think is the real value. The Xbox Game Pass. We're kind of Xbox Game Pass enthusiasts over here. So you can buy the MSI Claw from Best Buy, which will ship April 4th. Now, just going through the pictures, they look good as ever, don't they?
Yeah, I
Looks
mean,
like it looks comfortable.
yeah, yeah, but it's looking good. I think one of the main things you had talked about when we first looked at it was the vents on the back and just
Oh
how much
yeah.
ventilation there is on this thing. It's like
Yep.
the whole back grill is just like exposed almost. Um,
Yeah, and it's clean too. It's got that traditional MSI red, which always helps. Looks really cool. I love MSI. But yeah.
yeah,
So shall we continue on?
do it.
The MSI first announced the Claw at SES 2024 in January, joining the Steam Deck Asus Rogue Ally. That's the other one I was forgetting, Asus or Asus, and the Lenovo Legion Go in a growing portable PC market. In addition to being the first device to come with Intel's Core Ultra processors, it runs Windows and features a 7-inch 1080p 48 to 120 hertz variable refresh rate LCD display. I almost said monitor. I'm so used to us covering monitors on the show. So the MSI Claw also has an Intel Arc graphics chip with 8 Xe cores, a 53-watt battery with 2 hours of battery life, and Hall effect triggers. Hall effect, we're big fans of that. That's anti-stick drift, basically.
Yeah.
Hall effect triggers and joysticks, which should save you from having to deal with stick drift. It comes with some other handy features as well, including a power button with fingerprint sensor, a micro SD slot, and a Thunderbolt 4 port. And if you're interested in the MSI Claw, make sure to check out the hands-on review at SES that The Verge did.
Mm.
So, what do you think of it? Are you excited? I think we need to see some reviews.
Yeah, for
Really
sure,
check this out.
for sure. Yeah, battery life only 2 hours does kind of suck, but I mean, just
Oh, for sure, yeah.
the power of the device. I mean, I guess it explains it. Um, about why it's so
Would
bad.
that be would that be a deciding factor for you?
Um, I mean, I don't really handheld game much to begin with, in all honesty. However, if I was getting a handheld, I think just 2 hours of battery life's kind of just like it's just kind of like not it for me. I feel like I feel like if I'd
Agreed.
want a handheld device, I'd want to get at least like 4 hours, like just to kind of have something like reliable there. Um, I mean Yeah, that being said, there's probably not many situations where you'd go over 2 hours where you're not around some sort of power port like, that you can
Oh
access.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it may not be that huge of a deal. I mean, the fact that there's 120 hertz refresh rate on this like little display though, in this device with this kind of power is pretty impressive. I
Yeah.
think they're certainly doing they're doing it right in that aspect to make sure the power's there and good, and you have all sorts of you have like Thunderbolt on it, and you have like a fingerprint button, and
That's pretty.
yeah,
I think they might be the first one that I've seen or can remember seeing with the fingerprint sensor.
yeah.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
convenient.
they're doing the joysticks and the triggers right, Mike, with the Hall effect. So I
Yeah, the
mean,
Hall effect is,
that's a huge plus.
yes, it's finally becoming the norm.
Yeah,
It happened so quickly too. It's like a couple of like controller manufacturers, like third party controller manufacturers started putting them in, and then all of a sudden it's like they caught on and now everybody wants them.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
it's very nice to see.
yeah. I mean, if there's technology out there we don't have stick drift, so it increases the longevity of your sticks. I mean, why would you not? Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
so I mean, it's just common sense, really. So, yeah, I like that. I mean, the fact there's macro buttons on it too, I think that's pretty sick. So you can like have like back paddles essentially, for the games you're
Yeah.
playing. I mean, I don't know how much like competitive shooter stuff you'd be doing on this, but I mean, it's still nice to have extra buttons. So, yeah,
No, I think anybody that buys this isn't really trying to get into competitive gaming. It's mostly just gaming on the go, which makes the battery life so interesting. It's like only having 2 hours to me is a deal breaker.
yeah.
If I'm getting on a plane to go travel across the country, it's like you're going to be on the plane for longer than 2 hours most of the
A
time.
plane better have a port in the back of the seat or something I can plug into. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hopefully, unless you're traveling in budget, because
unless
this
you're
is
on
supposed to be
JetBlue, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's like if you're on JetBlue, Frontier, any
Yeah,
of the budget airlines, you're out of luck, and you're gonna really need to get yourself a battery, a portable battery,
yeah,
uh,
sure.
portable battery pack or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's almost kind of mandatory for this device. I feel like.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, it is for me when I'm traveling. But I think all the features are pretty good. I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, I will
But
say too, one area of criticism, that audio jack is on the top of the device, so you almost have to wrap that. If you're using wired headphones, you kind of have to wrap it under to like use it.
yeah,
You can't have like the cord over the screen. But something that's
that
interesting.
that is the case with my tablet, my Samsung tablet, and it's also the case. I think do I have it? Yeah, I have it right here. Let me double check. And it's nice little Samsung tablet right here. The jack, yeah, it's on top. So it's on the top. So that's not very uncommon. It's also I've seen the audio jack on the top for the Nintendo Switch also has it up there,
Oh,
I
really?
believe. Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I just haven't paid attention. But yeah, it's I don't know.
I agree with you though.
Interesting design choice. I think. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That too. It's weird too. Of like the Thunderbolts on the top. Granted, it's definitely not a Switch. It's not meant to dock or anything like that. But like,
Right.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see some sort of like see it on the bottom, so it kind of would make more sense to be dockable. But I mean, you probably, I mean, you still could buy a dongle or something that could like you could dock it with. I'm sure. So it's definitely not a deal breaker or anything. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, could I give you the engineering perspective?
I'm ready for it.
If you're holding it up like so,
Yeah.
your hands might get tired. So it's like you naturally want to place it down and like rest your palms. And if you have everything plugged in, it's like it's going to hit all the cables and stuff. A lot of my phone
Okay.
cables, because
Yeah.
I'm lazy, I'll just be watching something and I'll like lounge on the couch and I'll like rest it on my chest and it'll be plugged in and the cables get like destroyed
Yeah.
because it's bent like for so long. I think that might be a reason.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, in terms of like audio and stuff like that, I guess, I mean, mostly nowadays, like everyone has wireless earbuds or wireless headphones.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you're going to
yeah,
Bluetooth it anyway. So it's like not a
true.
huge deal. Um, it probably, like, even if the audio jack wasn't on here, I wouldn't think it'd be like a deal breaker or anything to not have an audio jack, at least in my opinion. Um, but yeah, I
No.
mean, it's cool that option's there still, I guess.
Yeah, I'm patiently waiting for all of these handhelds to come out so that we can do a side by side comparison and have some type of tier for each one of the handhelds. Because the MSI Claw here essentially has three different tiers and different versions. So if we could have that comparing it with the Steam Deck versions, and then the Lenovo versions and the Asus, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Than
True.
any of the A and Neos, because they come out with a new one like every 6 months.
You're giving me content ideas too of like when all these come out, we see all the reviews. We could just do like a tier list of handhelds. Just like
Dude, yeah, 100%.
Handheld tier list and just see what's the best.
I think that's a good idea.
That'd be some content right there. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. But anyways, that article was coming from Emma Roth at The Verge, and that's the MSI Claw. But
Cool to get the details.
I'm
I like
more
the price points. I like it all.
yeah. I'm more excited for the next. I keep stumbling on